Hi guys. Okay, get rolling here. Today, sure my e-brake's not on. I'm going to talk about probably the most important topic I've talked about yet, in my opinion. And it applies not just to living in a van. The topic is the importance of living with purpose. Now you're thinking, why are you talking about that? It has nothing to do with living in a van. Well, I'm going to relate to me how I can connect it to living in a van. But first I got to get out of this parking lot. Okay, so with living with purpose, the importance of living with purpose, what does that mean? Well, to me that means living a life with meaning, and that's pretty much it. Living a meaningful life. And in my opinion, how you do that is by living a life that has passion, that is not boring, that is not just the regular workday world where it's mundane, and you have to bring meaning to your life. And to me that means making sure that there's passion in your world. So, all I can do to illustrate this is by giving you examples from my life and how I've attempt to bring meaning and passion to my life. And I'm not saying I have I don't have the fundamentals down on this. You know, I'm certainly no expert. I'm making my way the best I can under the circumstances that I've found myself in, which are, of course, my own doing, pretty much, because we are all in control of our own power and destiny. So for me, I can only relate to this from my point of view. Maybe other people disagree and have other ideas, and that's fine. But I'm not talking about their ideas, I'm talking about my ideas. So how do I find meaning in my life? What gives my life purpose is involving myself in things that I am passionate about. Better put my seatbelt on. I want to get dead. Now, one area, well, there's three main things in my life that I find give meaning to my life and give my life a sense of purpose. Number one is my kids. Of course, I absolutely love my kids. They're awesome. Just like anything worth having, they're a lot of work, but they're very rewarding in their own way. And this past 3 days, I've had some time off work, and the way it worked out was my ex-wife had to work, which meant I got to spend 3 full days with my daughter for like 8 or 9 hours a day, which was awesome. And the kids are amazing, and you know, they're just, well, of course every parent says that about their kids, or at least I hope they do, but my kids are amazing, and I really enjoy spending time with them. So they definitely give my life meaning. When you think about their lives and they're just beginning, and all the responsibility and duty and fantastic opportunity you have to teach them, educate them, and be a role model to them. It's really an incredible undertaking, and one I'm glad I got to experience. Then again, raising kids is very tough too, and That's the thing that nobody really prepares you for it. There is no how-to manual on raising kids, but rewarding, very rewarding. So that's one of my main passions. It's one of the things that gives meaning to my life. Another one for me is music. I've been a huge music fan since I was basically 11 years old, when I bought my first record, which is 1984. It was Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen, who's probably my favorite. Well, he is my favorite, there's no doubt. I don't know why I would say probably. Anyway, so listening to music, I love all kinds of music, from jazz to classic rock to folk artists, from Leonard Cohen to Springsteen to Miles Davis, Pat Metheny, John Coltrane, Bob Dylan, Joan Baez. I also like old country, like pre-1980, more traditional country. I like a lot of different kinds of music. I like electronica and some experimental stuff, ambient music, instrumental stuff, everything. What I don't like, it's probably easier just to figure out what I don't like. What I don't like is rap. Sorry to rap fans, but I just don't like it. And I don't like new country, where it really is just rock with a twangy guitar and sad voice. And then, you know, the music is written just like rock, in my opinion. So not only do I like listening to music, but I'm a bass player. I've been playing bass since, I don't know, I've been playing guitar since I was in high school, but not really a guitar player. But I picked up bass in 2003, 2004. When I graduated university, I thought, oh gee, now I have time finally to get involved in a band. And I thought, well, I'm not really a good enough guitar player, but I've always loved the bass, and I love the sonic part of it. I love the rhythmic part of it. I love the fact that it's more of a background instrument, which suits me. I'm not really a spotlight guy, and I don't know. I just love everything about it. So playing in a band is, honestly, I know this sounds a bit risque, but to me, it's the second only to sex. To me, that's how good it is. When you're in a band and you're playing music and you're in the groove, it's really hard to beat it. It's just a really magical thing. So for me, music is a huge passion in my life. Huge. And the third one is, that brings meaning to my life, is Buddhism. Now, one of these videos I'm going to kind of do like a history of my life and talk about religion has played a major role in it. I actually, when I was in my early 20s, I almost became a pastor. You can believe it. I was a hardcore Christian, and I went to take religious studies in university. But there's a whole story behind that, and I'll get into it. But I'm no longer a Christian. I haven't been a Christian since I was 24, and I'm now 43. But for the last 10 or 15 years, I've been into Buddhism, and I wouldn't call myself a card-carrying Buddhist. I don't go to a temple. I don't, I'm not into the rituals so much. I mean, I think they're important for what they are, but that's kind of, Christianity kind of soured me to anything supernatural. And Buddhism is, to me, what I find good about Buddhism is that it really is a wisdom tradition, and it's all about self-development, and ultimately every spiritual book, which I gotta admit, we're all Buddhist, the underlying message is all the same. The way to achieve total happiness and to be really fulfilled is by serving others, because when you serve others, you not only serve them and make them happy, but you find that it comes back to you, and you are more happy than you could ever be by being selfish, is to serve others. And I find that to be very true for my life, and I've really enjoyed studying Buddhism and all it has to offer. But again, like I'm not a guy who goes to a temple. I meditate, and then I read Buddhist books, and I listen to Buddhist talks by monks. And I think in a previous life I could have been a monk. Anyway, I'm not going to talk too much about that, but it's definitely an important passion of my life, and it definitely brings meaning to my life. Now, one thing about the life purpose and meaning is to make sure that you're not complacent. And this relates back to living in a van, because if I was living in a basement suite where I had unlimited access to internet and I could just stay in there and never leave, I believe that sometimes I wouldn't leave. Often I wouldn't leave, and I would just stay in my little hole away from the world and just live a life of, I don't know, I wouldn't call it quiet desperation, of course, but being in a van, especially a low-top van, for me, I need to get out. I can't stay in here all the time, which means that I'm out and about. I'm not complacent. I'm out and doing things. What am I doing? Well, these are the things I want to do. Basically, almost every night of the week after work, I want to go out and do something, whether that be play indoor sports like volleyball, maybe go to rehearsal once a week, like band rehearsal, spend 2 nights a week with my kids, go to maybe a movie, spend time with friends, maybe go to a Buddhist talk. There's a huge number of things that I would like to do to keep busy. And living in a van, as I said, it kind of forces you to do that, because you're in a very small area, and you get a little cabin fever if you don't get out there and keep active. There is a study I read about, I don't remember when, but it was to do with mice, and they had a mouse in a cage with nothing in it, and then they had a second mouse in a separate cage, and in that cage they had a running wheel, and they had tunnels, and they had those little toilet paper roll things for the mouse to chew on. And then they found that the mouse that had stuff to do that kept him active and engaged was much happier and lived a longer life than the mouse that had nothing in the cage except for water and food. There's this scientific law of kinetics says that things in motion tend to stay in motion, and that's why it's good to get out and get involved and not be a guy who just sits in the basement suite all day watching TV. I don't think that's healthy for your mind or your body. Stay active, get involved, and find things that give meaning to your life that you're passionate about. And these are the ways that you will give purpose to your life, in my opinion. Now, a final part of living a life with purpose is work and a job. And I worked in a grocery store for 18 or 19 years in the produce department. And I can tell you, it was really well paying, and that's why I stayed there. When I quit, I was making $23.96 an hour, which is more than I make right now. And this is like 10 years ago that I quit, and that's how much I was making. And it was a good union job, good paying job. But I tell you, within half an hour of working, I was looking at my watch thinking, gee, when's my next break? I hate this job. And I really did hate it. And when I decided to quit, I had a manager that I just really didn't get along with. And he would do things like, he would throw the broom at you and say, sweep the floor, and he'd throw the broom at you. And, you know, by that time I quit, I was about 32 years old, and I wasn't a young kid anymore. I had a good understanding of who I was. And I said, I put the broom against the bananas or against the side of the apples, and I said, you treat me with respect, and you ask me nicely, and I'll sweep the floor. But if you throw the broom at me, no, I'm not going to sweep the floor. And I wasn't some teenage kid that worked there that he was used to working with. I basically made him know that you're not going to push you around like that, buddy. It's just not going to happen. So, that kind of gave me a good kick in the pants to get another job, because working with him, I was just tired of it. So I was tired of dealing with him. So I got a new job, and I'm not going to tell you what I do for a living because I'd rather keep that personal. But I can tell you that it gives my life a lot of meaning, and it's a very rewarding job. It doesn't pay as well as that job, that's for sure, but it does pay me in other ways where I'm not just making widgets in a factory. I'm doing something that makes a difference to me, and it makes a difference to the people I work with. So I really, a big part of meaning in your life is, if you're going to spend a third of your life at a job, make sure it's a job you want to be at. Make sure it's a job that has a sense of meaning to you. And, you know, in Buddhism, they call it right livelihood. And that means making money in a way, or being able to feed yourself in a way that isn't aligned with your values and your morals. Of course, being a vegan, I could never work in a slaughterhouse because, you know, I would almost rather do anything than that. So yes, living a life of purpose, very important. Some people just kind of just go through life and day to day, and they don't really, it seems like it's a danger if you let yourself get complacent. Then, you know, weeks go by, months go by, and what have you done? Life is boring, life is, you know, it's not fun, and it's not meaningful. And if it's not, then it's up to you to change it, not up to anybody else. And that's what I've learned in my life. I can't blame anybody else for any situation that I found myself in. It's a series of actions of mine that have led me to where I am. And that's why, upon reflecting upon everything, the best thing to do is try to bring purpose to your life. And again, that's through finding meaning and doing things that you're passionate about. All right, guys. Don't know what else I can add to that at this point. I'm sure there's other things I'm not thinking about. But I will leave this video topic at that. Take care. Have yourself a good night. And I'll see you in the next one.